Well, it seems today that everyone and their brother are involved in the big lie, claiming that Israel is indeed using the white phosphorus bombs against Arab civilians. That's both in Gaza and in north in Lebanon. These claims are going viral all over social media, videos showing hits, supposed hits, on civilian targets. What do we do with that? Is Israel actually targeting civilians? All right, we're going to get into that today. And what is white phosphorus anyway? And is Israel actually breaking international law? Okay, so we're going to break all this down. But what is white phosphorus anyway? Check this out. So what are these small fireballs? Like it's one bomb going, but then all these small firebrands are going out, extreme heat, able to burn down things, crazy, right? So that's what it looks like. Is Israel using this? Okay, guys, we're going to dive into all of this. We're going to get the questions answered. What is Israel actually doing? What's the lie? We're going to break down. We're going to get to the truth today. Stay tuned. I'm Joshua, and this is the Israel Guys. Welcome back to the Israel Guys, where we believe in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda. You should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notifications, and this month, June, we've got a real special going on. We have a giveaway, an opportunity that is running this entire month. We have a massive prize giveaway that has two of our Israel Guys shirts, as well as our custom leather hat, beautiful leather patch on that hat, like awesome stuff. We've got a great coffee table book, photo book about Israel, lots more. Just all you got to do is go down to the link in the description below and click join the email list, and you will be signed up for this big giveaway. The giveaway will be released. The winner will be decided upon in the end of June. Go ahead and do that now. Guys, so we're getting to the topic of the white phosphorus. This white phosphorus, let's get it from the U.S. military. We trust the U.S. military on what the white phosphorus is. This clip right here will tell us exactly what we're dealing with.
It's called white phosphorus. U.S. officials say it's primarily used to camouflage troop movement and mark targets, but it can also create an incendiary chemical reaction that can kill a person if it contacts their skin. The Washington Post reported that a photo taken in March of U.S. Marines in Syria had a pallet of white phosphorus munitions. The use of white phosphorus is kind of a gray area. The substance itself isn't banned under the Chemical Weapons Convention. A New Zealand military official told NPR the coalition used it for smoke screens to help civilians safely get out of Mosul, Iraq. That's considered illegal use of the material, but it's prohibited if it's used specifically as a chemical weapon.
So that's right. The white phosphorus is renowned for giving troops cover. That's typically what it's used for. According to international law, there's a lot of regulations. What is this? What can you do? What can you not do? And typically, it's a safe zone to use this for cover. So militaries around the world use the white phosphorus to provide troops with cover. They can put this out. It provides a smoke screen. Troops can therefore move freely without being spied upon by enemy troops. Now, there is another use of the white phosphorus bomb, and that is to destroy enemy infrastructure. It's a burning hot. It does not stop. It just burns through metal and anything that it touches. So if you've got military infrastructure that you need to get rid of, by all means, countries use this all the time. Now, these are the headlines. The news headlines that are popping up everywhere about this topic right now today are this. Here's one. Israel using white phosphorus on residential buildings in Lebanon. Sounds like an attack against civilians, right? All right, we'll break that down. Another one. Israel is targeting Lebanese civilians with white phosphorus. And the Human Rights Watch, they're stirred up all this mess. So human rights constantly involved in these kind of things, right? So let's break it down. First off, there's no evidence for these claims. Let's just start by that. There's no evidence for these claims. But everybody says, but there's a picture of them bombing an apartment building. Right, okay. So we'll get to the answer to that question. But first, the Israel Bible is not just another Hebrew Bible. It's a bridge connecting Scripture, the land of Israel, and our lives today with illuminating commentary that explores the significance of Israel and how humanity's fate intertwines with the sacred land. The Israel Bible offers insights into God's promises and prophecies for the end of days. As stated in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Featuring the original Hebrew text alongside clear, accurate English translations, the Israel Bible brings these ancient words to life. Enhanced with beautiful charts, maps, and illustrations, it deepens your understanding and connects you more intimately with God's teachings. The Israel Bible is more than a book. It's a revelation. It's a guide for navigating life's complexities through faith and wisdom, inspired by the teachings that have guided generations. We're living in crazy times. Let the Israel Bible be your guide. Click the link in the description below to get your copy today. These vicious attacks on the global stage are nothing but vicious anti-Israel propaganda meant to delegitimize, demonize the state of Israel and its war against terrorism. Okay? That's the first off. Secondly, residential buildings. Okay, give me a break. Is this the first time you've heard that? How about hospital or school or, kindergarten, elderly home, you name it. The Arab terrorists use civilian infrastructure to house their bombs, to wage their wars. Guys, this is not a new thing. But every day of the week, the anti-Israel war machine, the terrorist war machine, uses these things to convince the public of Israel's and demonize Israel through these tactics. And you fall for it literally every single day. And they know that it works. And so they can continue to use things like, it was just an apartment building. Yeah, but I bet you, I could guarantee you, I actually know for a fact, that when Israel strikes an apartment building or they do a strike on a so-called hospital, it's not an actual hospital. It's not an actual apartment building. It's a military infrastructure. Okay, so get that right, and that's the second point to this thing. Remember, Israel has no interest in killing civilians. If any news network, this is how you write them off. If any news network claims that Israel is targeting civilians, you know that that's not true. Israel has no incentive. There's no thing in Israel's whole entire war machine. It's not like Hamas. It's not like these guys that actually do target civilians. And like they attacked Israel, they targeted civilians. Israel does not do that, okay? Israel is one of the most, incredible militaries in the world when it comes to these high level of conduct in military, okay? It's the most moral military in the world. They are not targeting civilians. Who are they targeting? They're targeting the Hamas terrorists that many times are using civilians for cover. And that's how civilians are injured in these situations. This war is against terrorists and the terrorist supporters that represent the terrorist, okay? So Israel's attacking these things, and that's something to get very clear. Now, when it comes to the accusations against Israel and this white phosphorus bomb, we'll play this clip here so you can understand it better.
The Israelis have been hitting further inside Lebanon. If we look again, the pictures are hazy but appear to show white phosphorus being used. The claims come on top of an investigation by Human Rights Watch, which details widespread use of white phosphorus by the Israeli military in Lebanon. The human rights group focused on the months immediately after October the 7th, when these areas were full of residents. The use of white phosphorus to drive out people, burn land, or fired indiscriminately in populated areas is outlawed under international law.
Okay, so now we have videos showing the IDF using white phosphorus. I guess it has that, telltale sign, the hundreds of white fire bombs with the smoke trails coming behind them. That's a sign of white phosphorus. So now what are they using? Now, the IDF 7 months ago stated this. They stated, and I quote, "The current accusation regarding the use of white phosphorus in Gaza is unequivocally false." Okay, so the accusation back 7 months ago in the beginning of the war is that they were using white phosphorus in heavy populated zones. Now you're not supposed to do that. Very few circumstances can you use it in tight zones. One would be marking enemy targets, okay? Because it can mark it and nobody's moving that mark. It can mark enemy targets. So maybe there's ways that the IDF can use it, but the idea of an airburst of this is problematic in a highly populated zone because it's not targeting And so this is what the world is framing this under. You're targeting mass population centers with a blast. That's what they're putting this under. But is the IDF actually doing that? No, the IDF is not doing that. And that's what the world is equating. All of the accusations against Israel in this white phosphorus bomb thing are maybe and probably. You just look at all the different things. They're most like it's nothing factual. There's no evidence behind them using so if Israel was actually using white phosphorus bombs on major civilian centers, one thing you would see is a lot of people with white phosphorus burns. You'd have a lot of deaths to white phosphorus. Does that happen? No, that is not happening. There's fake news about that, and they actually, because of the fake news, there was Twitter pages that were full of that kind of garbage where they actually faked it, the Pallywood stuff. And so, no, that's not happening. And if it was happening, there would be ramifications of that, and you would be seeing that publicly. Okay, so the Prime Minister's office just released a press release on Fox News on this issue just a few hours ago. So let's check this out from Fox News from the Prime Minister's office.
Human Rights Watch is accusing the IDF of using white phosphorus on 5 residential buildings in southern Lebanon. Can the Prime Minister's office deny that accusation?
Thank you very much for that question, David. The IDF always and only uses white phosphorus in the legal ways for which it's supposed to be used in warfare, and that is as a smokescreen. It is never used as an offensive weapon, and certainly not one which could harm civilians. So, as usual, this can be added to the long line of false accusations which are made against Israel. They come up in different forms, but on the same theme almost every single day. You can get more information from the IDF, but I can tell you categorically that the IDF, in accordance with international law, only uses white phosphorus as a smokescreen and certainly not as an offensive weapon, which is in accordance with international law.
Okay, so the Prime Minister's office just made it very clear that the attacks against Israel, again, are made up things. This is not a reality. Israel is using this within the bounds of the international law that surrounds this issue. That's made very clear by the Prime Minister's office. And all of the evils that are continually waged against Israel are literally lies that are just put out there by these organizations in order to, as we started this whole thing with, demonize and delegitimize the nation of Israel. You must believe the Prime Minister's office when they state these things. Don't believe otherwise. If they're using these targets, they're using them, or they're using the bomb here, the white phosphorus bomb. They're using it for a smokescreen. That's what they're using it for, according to the Prime Minister's office. You should have no reason to believe otherwise. Now, I want to go to the other level. What if they were to use it for something else? Would the world go nuts? And do they have the legal right to? Well, that gets into a whole international law and what you can and can't do, which supposedly they have right to. All the other nations do. So there's a different law for Israel using this? I don't think so. Although the rest of the world tends to think that there's different laws pertaining to Jews and Israel, as in no other nation should operate this way. And no other nation is required to operate under the laws and stringencies that Israel is. I think that Israel should be able to use this as a smokescreen, and more than that, should be able to use it as other nations do to blow up enemy infrastructure, because this is an excellent weapon to do so. Now, let's just take a look here. The British used it. They used the white phosphorus. This is a special Air Force, Air Services used it, phosphorus grenades in the Falklands to flush enemies out of their fighting positions, okay? So they used it in order to drop it and then scatter the enemies and then able to take them out, because they weren't able to hide underneath that heat and that burning that would happen into those deep areas, okay? So the British use it, but Israel's not allowed to. That's what the world's saying right now. The U.S. used it ruthlessly against enemy positions across the Arab world. I'll quote the Lieutenant Colonel Barry Venerable when he was asked if the U.S. indeed used white phosphorus against in the siege of Fallujah. He replied, and I quote, "Yes, it was used as an incendiary weapon against enemy combatants." Okay? When you have enemy forces, continue to quote here, that are in cover positions that your high explosive artillery rounds are not having an impact on, and you wish to get them out of those positions, one technique is to fire a white phosphorus round into the position. The combined effect of the fire and smoke, and in some cases terror brought about the explosion on the ground, will drive them out of those holes, so that you can kill them with the high explosives. End quote. All right, so that's from a U.S. Lieutenant Colonel. Now, and that's the end quote. So he's saying the U.S. military uses this not for just smoke cover, but they use it in their wars against, and I'm sure they continue to use it. This is one example. They use it, the British use it, and I'm sure a lot of others use it for actually driving enemies out, fighting enemies in those deep areas where your bombs are not able to penetrate. They're able to drive them out because of that deep burning that happens with these bombs. So what I'm getting to the point here is that other nations can use this in other realms, but Israel is not allowed to. Okay, that's where we're getting into a problem. Israel's war against terror is a global war against terror. We must unite with Israel to fight this war on terror and understand the enemy is not the Arab civilians. No, stop blurring and trying to create a false narrative. No, Israel has nothing against Arab civilians. They are fighting the terrorist, and their goal is to defeat the terrorist, and they will defeat the terrorist. All of the distractions are really causing problems for Israel and are actually putting, and they know this, they're putting Israel's hands behind their back on the international world and the public opinion because of these distractions. So you must understand the true issues at stake here and not put laws on Israel that are not expected of any other nation in use of the weapons intended to fight terrorists. As always, gentlemen, ladies, don't forget to continue listening into the truth of what's going on here in the land of Israel. And as Israel fights these wars, be sure to stand with Israel. Don't be confused by all the rhetoric and the anti-Israel propaganda that is unfortunately dramatic and very successful. Again, all this anti-Israel stuff, it's 50-1. The way to help us get this news out more, let's stop that 50-1 stuff. Let's get on top of this. 50-1. We have one view compared to the 50 anti-Israel views. We've got to turn that around, not only for our sake, but for the sake of the next generation. For the sake of Israel, the people of Israel, and this war against terror, we've got to join them. We've got to get the truth out. You can help us in doing that by subscribing and being a part of this, of getting our content out there. Be sure to send this to others so that they can know the truth as well. And don't forget our big campaign right now to sign up to our email list and be a part of this big June outreach that we're doing. Be sure to sign that in the description below to be a part of the big giveaway that's happening. Don't forget to subscribe, get the conversation going down below, guys. And as always, tune out the fake news and tune in to what is actually happening here in the heartland of Israel. We'll be back every Monday through Friday with your direct connection to the land and the people of Israel.